So, you want to learn how to monk but you don't know where to begin? Well then, you clicked on the right video. Hi, my name is Masie, but since you came here to learn how to PvP, you can call me Professor Masie. As a background for me, since you are here and you are here to see a fancy video, I personally love dueling and I took it as a challenge upon myself to learn every single class in PvP dueling at a high level. Most of the info that I will be telling you is a basics guide on how to PvP as a monk with a slight specialty or a slight focus on dueling. However, most of the concepts that I will be bringing up today can be both applied to feast and frontlines. If you are looking for an advanced level information guide, I highly suggest joining one of the Final Fantasy PvP discords, as tutors and mentors from those locations might be able to get you that advanced level of guidance that you are looking for. And to cut to it, this video is not a hand-holding session, so please make sure that you read what your actions are called as well as what they do. Welcome! In this video, we will be covering these following points over here. Chakra rotation, basic burst rotation, quote unquote, basic buff breakdown and how they can be used to your advantage, counterplay against monk, how to counter said counterplay, what not to burst into, and also a quick gloss on how to use monk in feast and frontlines. Hey, Editing Masie here. This is my first time ever making a video as well as editing a video, so if you like the content and you like what you see, it would truly make a man like me very happy if you drop a subscribe as well as hit that bell so you can be notified for any future content. Anyway, onto the video. Enjoy. As of 5.57, Monk has grown infamous with its ability to have a super high damage burst, being really good at pressuring as well as traversing the map. On top of that is this ridiculous GCD of only 2 seconds. With no range attack to speak of, Monk is great for getting up close and personal with any poor soul and just completely clobbering them down. I love Monk. Just running up and just smacking people. It's great. This is because every single GCD you use, whether single target or AoE, will give you a single chakra. This means that every 10 seconds, Monk can use a chakra spender of either the AoE ability, which is Enlightenment, or a single target ability known as the Forbidden Chakra, or TFC. This ability is amazing, and its 2k damage helps make the Monk burst broken and no joke. Why is it no joke, you ask? This is because OGCDs. Yes, out of all the classes, Monk has the most amount of OGCDs you can use in one single burst. This is because of one of our handy dandy little friends called Six-Sided Star. I know I was the same as you. I know when you were reading over the actions and you saw this 4-second cooldown on the weapon skill, you thought, oh, this is too long, I'm never going to use this. Well, the good old SSS's, it's a lot of SS's, is perfect for weaving in a lot of OGCDs in the long cooldown of the skill. Tornado kick, throw that in there. Axe kick, throw that in there. Shoulder tackle, throw that in there. You know what? Why not throw in 2? And you have the 5 chakras with the 2k damage that you were wondering about. Throw that in there because with TFC, this burst is so ungodly it's forbidden. So to recap, you can throw in any OGCDs you want in between the long cooldowns of the SSS or Six-Sided Star. If you want to throw it at the beginning of your duel as an opener, I suggest running the combination of this, which is SSS, Tornado Kick, Axe Kick, and Shoulder Tackle for something really simple. The reason why it's in this specific order is because SSS is your first GCD. Tornado Kick has a slight animation, so you want to avoid putting that at the end because you want to avoid any clipping with your next GCD. And then Axe Kick to start the cooldown, as well as Shoulder Tackle because, extra damage. But if you want to be really fancy, you can start off your rotation combo with the 3 punches from your GCD, which is Boot Shine, True Strike, and Snap Punch to build 3 chakras, and then do the following combination of SSS, Tornado Kick, Axe Kick, and then TFC because you have 5 chakras. And you know, just throw in a shoulder tackle because yes. If you use Feint at any time during the burst, your damage will be multiplied by 1.2 times or 20%. And if you heal, you'll see how much healing you can do in a short amount of time. And long story short, it's a lot. Like a lot. What if I told you you could do even more damage and get your burst even faster? Maybe. Monk has 2 strong buffs, the first being Brotherhood, which is a 50% chance to give you, the monk, a chakra each time any action is used by you or by an ally. So if you are playing in Feast or Frontlines and you pop this bad boy, there's a small chance you'll get 5 chakras immediately for doing absolutely nothing. Nice. And the next ability we're going to be talking about is Riddle of Fire, which gives a flat 10% damage buff as well as an extra 10% damage to the next weapon skill you use. Weapon skill, not abilities. It's a base. But yeah, so sadly it does only apply to weapon skills, meaning that it only affects your SSS and your GCDs. But the first 10% we mentioned still applies for the whole 6 seconds. It's just, you know, 10% will only work on the, or the other 10% will only work on the GCDs and SSS. So theoretically, if you combine the budget feint with normal feint, you can get 40% on a GCD, but 30% on every other attack. So yay, that's still a win. Lastly, we're going to talk about mitigation. Monk has 2 mitigations. The first mitigation comes in the name of Riddle of Earth, which provides a comfy 2.5k shield with 6 seconds of 10% mitigation. The best application of this action is to use it when another melee uses Bloodbath, or when a caster or range uses Phantom Dart or Concentrate respectively. The second mitigation, by far, you know, nothing suspicious, is tactfully displacing yourself away from the enemy. Since the best type of mitigation is mitigating damage that the enemy can't do because they can't touch you. And all, no, like seriously, this is a good idea. It works.
Run.
Ah, yes. Monk Counterplay. Now, Monk is a very versatile and flexible class. However, it can struggle against range because it does not have any range. But almost all classes have range, you know. It's including, you know, casters, actual physical range, and also every other melee DPS. You know, they all have range. The good news is Monk is actually insanely effective against ranged classes due to the fact that you have 3 charges of a gap closer. So the most common way in Counterplay to deal with range is to save your shoulder tackles when you think they might run away and immediately pursue them. And by the 12th, if they choose to stand still, make them immediately regret standing still and just dump everything you have on them. And by everything, I mean, you know, the burst combo we said earlier. And if you know that your enemy might have bolt, and you don't have bolt ready, and you have no shoulder tackles, it is perfectly acceptable to throw in an SSS to deal as much damage as you can before you are out of their range. The other example that we will use also is when fighting casters. Casters have an ability very similar to Feint called Phantom Dart, which is basically a sign that they're going to burst you with a lot of damage. So if you see Phantom Dart being used against you, I highly recommend using ROE, or Riddle of Earth, and then when their burst is done or when you get close, show them what a real burst looks like and just blow them up with everything you have, i.e. the combo. Do we really have to do this class? Fine. Another very strong counterplay for Monk, and probably every other melee DPS and every other class probably when used correctly, is You guessed it, samurai. Yay. But no, real talk, samurai is incredibly broken because of one amazingly broken ability called Chitin. Chitin. Chitin? The shell. What is Chitin or Chitin or the shell, the blue shell, you ask? Well, what essentially it is that for the next 5 turns, samurais will have their damage mitigated on them by 50%, as well as retaliate with an attack potency of 1.2. That's a lot. And for you who don't think 1.2 is a lot, think about this. What's 1.2 times 5? Let me grab my calculator. It's this much damage. That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
But, I mean, if you can't hit it, right, you could just stand still, which is, you know, it's a fine strategy. But the thing is, remember how I told you how monks have 2 types of mitigation? Well, this is the perfect example to use a second type of mitigation, which is simply not running away, tactically repositioning yourself away from the enemy. And then, once their lovely shell is done, blow them up and show them what's it like to actually be burst down without mitigation. Other counters that I'll briefly go over, as well as avoid bursting into, is TBN, which is the Blackest Night. Not only is it a shield that you cannot heal off of, but if you break it, then you give the Dark Knight a free OGCD to cause you even more pain. Hollowed Ground, which is an ability that Paladins have, which is just don't attack it because you can't do any damage to it. Legit 0 damage. Don't even touch it. Just run away. Same Sam strat.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Idle, which is even scarier than Mana Ward since it is 40% damage reduction and it will make your burst feel as effective as using a water gun on a house fire. Retaliate, which is basically Triton's more aggressive cousin as it provides a flat 800 potency attack to anything that damages it for 10 seconds. So avoid using any OGCDs on it. Oh, that's still a mouthful. Instead, I suggest using 2 6-sided stars while this is active, just run away whenever you can. Lastly, we will gloss over Feast and Frontlines. In Feast, your main objective is to do countdowns and do calls when your burst is ready. Unlike the original combo that was taught earlier in the video, the best burst order when doing calls for Feast is Tornado Kick, TFC, followed by SSS. This is because Tornado Kick has a slight delay and you can essentially dump all your damage into one quick burst, giving the healer very little time, if not any time, to heal your selected burst target. In Frontlines or Rival Wings, Monk can have insanely good longevity when you use Bloodbath and then AoE Beyblade in with 4-point Fury and Rockbreaker. And with teammates nearby, you can use Brotherhood or get lucky with your chakras and immediately get 5 of them, and just use Axe Kick and spam Enlightenment. So I hope you're lucky with that frontline strategy. Don't quote me on it though. I'm not one for frontlines. I gave it a go and I mean it went pretty well, right? Other than, you know, the dying. Right?
You're in love with me. Lips as sweet as candy, its taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me thirsty for another cup of wine. Got a
Well, that does it for today's comprehensive beginner's guide on how to monk in PvP. Please don't forget that this is just the basics, and monk is a very complex class, as well as playstyles can differ from different duelists. This is by no means a be-all end-all guide, but more like a gateway to unlocking your own monk chakras and reaching your own enlightenment. If you like this content, please drop down a like as well as comment on what you think would be a great class that we can do next video. As well, if you are interested in seeing my lovely self play a variety of games ranging from FPS, sandbox rhythm, or you want something to listen to while you wait for those lovely cues to pop, come stop by at my Twitch at twitch.tv/Masie. Link will be in the description below. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting, fellow wolves. Bye.